I'm Neil Stratton of Inside the League here with Chris Dingman. Chris is the owner and founder of the Dingman Group. The Dingman Group specializes in pro athlete relocation. Chris is an expert on moving matters and anything else having to do with real estate on a national basis. Welcome, Chris. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Neil. Appreciate it. It's always good to be on Inside the League.
Thank you, thank you. All right, first question, Chris. I'm sure Coach Petrino would like to put this chapter of his life behind him. This hasn't been something he's probably going to put on his resume. So he probably wants to get quit of this whole thing as soon as possible. How quickly can he expect to sell a property like this given the situation, the circumstances?
Yeah, well, it's a very, very unfortunate, I guess, circumstance for him and his family. Obviously, we'll do the best to move on from the situation in whatever fashion they think is best for them. But it's never a good thing to, I guess, have this type of property in a situation where you kind of need to sell quickly. I guess I don't really know if they need to sell quickly, if they've got enough to cover it. I imagine they do, but it's a luxury property, and it's a property unlike many others. So I got to imagine that the need for something like that is certainly in the minority of people looking for something like that. So to try and sell that thing quickly is probably not reasonable. They probably got to put a plan in place with their realtor, whether it be 3, 6, 9 months out, kind of put some marketing together and kind of see where things fall. But it's definitely not going to be an easy task, in my personal opinion, to kind of get that thing sold and move out of there.
Okay. Now, Chris, I know you're not a realtor in Arkansas per se, but let's say you were. Let's put yourself in that realtor's shoes. Do you wait for the next head coach to come in and then hope that maybe you can kind of figure out a way to put them into that home just because they may be one of those few people in that target audience that might be able to afford such a piece of real estate?
Yeah, I mean that's certainly an option. If it were me and I were working with the university, university oftentimes works with third-party relocation companies like myself. And if they have a dean, if they have a president, if they have a new individual who maybe makes a certain amount of income, it certainly would be an option for that realtor. I would utilize all avenues that I had at my disposal to try and market it to the appropriate types of individuals, and certainly that would be an avenue that I would pursue.
Okay. Now, obviously, you said all things being equal, this is not going to be a quick turnaround. Is one reason that it's not because he had such a public demise? I mean, everyone knows. Obviously, this is going to be not one of the story chapters in his life. It's one he's going to want to try to get rid of pretty quickly. Do you think that this is a situation where the market would try to take advantage of that?
Well, I guess anytime you're trying to shed light or bring eyes onto a property, I guess a certain amount of press or a certain amount of limelight couldn't hurt. It's just going to provide people the opportunity to know that home exists and is on the market, as opposed to maybe just another home who maybe isn't owned by a public figure or is just kind of maybe one of very similar to other homes in the market. Again, this is something that's fairly unique. There is some public attention to it. So, as a broker and realtor, I would imagine that they have to just be extra careful as to and kind of vet the leads. Is someone just trying to say that they're interested in the home so they can kind of get a peek and say they went into this public figure, this coach's home, or are they really verified and in a position to actually purchase, and are they serious? So there's got to be some vetting involved, and that's something that you have to make sure you pay attention to. But at the end of the day, I can't imagine it hurts the potential sale of the property to be owned by a person that's going kind of through this life situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Last question, Chris. You dealt with a lot of players, coaches in a similar situation, cut, waived, forced into retirement under circumstances that weren't the best. Maybe wasn't their decision. Do you often have to find yourself kind of reminding them that this is an investment and money and something that's of value, so that they don't kind of just take whatever they can get so they can move forward with their lives? Is that a situation that arises?
Yeah, it is, and you personally, I like to surround myself with not only just people but also clients who have the same philosophy as us, and that is, you always want to do right by the client. You never want to support them or kind of help them or lead them into a situation where long term it might not be the best scenario for you financially. So I like to surround myself with advisors, business managers, accountants who really do take all measures and are very serious about putting their clients in the right situations, whether that be leasing instead of purchasing right off the bat, or just really kind of mirroring your real estate decisions off of your contracts. If it's not a guaranteed contract and there's low guaranteed money, then you might want to plan accordingly with your financial affairs or real estate affairs. So I definitely rely on those people to help us. And there's something I will note, and in some cases, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Rick Neuheisel is a good, I guess, a good reflection of this. The research that I've done, very unique sense, a very unique guy in the way that he structures some of his contracts with these universities in Colorado, in Washington, and UCLA. There was either something written in the contract to where they provided money to fund a loan, to fund the purchase of a home, and or if he was released, or if he was relieved of his duties, if you will, and he moved on to another place, they would actually buy out the rest of the money owed on the home, which is a very unique and extremely smart to do, especially because coaching is actually, you can argue coaches have a more nomadic lifestyle than athletes themselves. They're always moving from one place to another. So I was really interested and intrigued to see some of those phrases or clauses in contracts. So that was pretty interesting.
That is interesting. And I guess it's something that people in the business have to take into account, given, as you mentioned, how nomadic coaches and athletes are these days, unfortunately. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, that really helps, and that really sheds a lot of light on the situation. I appreciate you being with us today. For Chris, I'm Neil Stratton. You can check out the link on virtualtour.com that has all the pictures of Petrino's house below our posting here. Chris, thanks again.
Hey, thanks for having me, Neil. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to the next time.
All right.
Bye-bye.